Hey, namaste, how's it going? Okay, so today's vlog is kind of commentary on the week that I've had. I got back from Awesomeness Fest and I had it would have been my fifth talk that I've recently set up here in North Devon with an intention to speak more, be in front of people, speak my truth, all this kind of stuff. And the reason I want to keep doing it is because I just get so buzzed after the talk. I'm literally kind of vibrating and feeling really, really good. So because I went to Awesomeness Fest, people were asking me oh, do you have any of your talks online so we can check it out? And obviously these are people mainly in London who are yeah, we could bring you down to London and you could do a talk for our audience or whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna video it. And I feel pretty good. Every talk seems to be getting better. Every talk I get a little bit more comfortable in front of people. Every talk I'm more grounded and I'm feeling more aware of what it is I have to say. But of course, I think it's a reality when you're putting yourself out there. Of course, you're inviting criticism. Well, not that you're inviting it, but it will just appear. I mean, I watched quite a few Abraham videos yesterday, and I noticed, people say really horrible things. And I don't think it would probably upset Esther. And this comment I got wasn't even horrible. It was just a kind of slight criticism. Saying that I wasn't fully present, or something about my talk, he could tell that I was holding myself back. And I'm a really sensitive person. It kind of surprises me that I once was pursuing acting, because it's just so critical and judgmental in that industry. So I'm sitting with this total heart reaction of oh no, and all this stuff starts coming up, doubt and insecurity, humiliation. Part of my old self wanted to just right away take the video down, and that was my impulsive reaction, because one person, even though I enjoyed it and the people there enjoyed it and people keep coming back and people are asking and inquiring more, and I'm hearing really positive things around the community about how inspired the talks are, and yet one person says something a little bit negative and I freak out inside. And then I had an actual healing, and there you go. So I'm working with my healer, and humiliation comes up, and unworthy comes up, and shock, and all these different emotions start coming up. So upon reflection, so I went through this kind of wobble over the weekend. I was upset, there were tears, all that kind of thing, and I just sat with it, and it came down to the fact of I can only be who I am. I can only do what I do. Like all of us, we're all doing the best that we can, right? So I don't have to take that on board. Yeah, I had a reaction, so yeah, there was kind of a healing opportunity for me in that moment. But I think for future, I'll just get stronger and stronger at actually kind of sitting with those comments, or probably not even attracting that. They might be there, but I probably just won't even see them, because I'll be too focused on feeling good and being happy within myself. So the week goes on, and I got some nice emails and some nice contact from people just reassuring that everything was going well. And I started to sit with something. I thought, oh yeah, I have to get more grounded in myself. I have to really sit with my energy and allow Source to speak through me. So I'm sitting with that. Yesterday I wake up and I'm inspired, and I sit down and make a vlog. And I'm trying really hard to be kind of stay connected to my Source, and speaking from this place, and blah 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 blah. And it was fine. It was good. It was all really positive and enlightening, and it was saying to the camera, and of course, because I would have published it on YouTube, saying to the world, we are one, and it's time for us to get connected, and it's really time to see the true vision of our humanity, and we are light-filled beings and all this kind of stuff, and it's fantastic. But I was very like serious and I don't know, kind of not really me, not really. I'm pretty dramatic. I'm kind of expressive. Like, I really like to feel my emotions. I am not an enlightened master yet. I think that we could all be enlightened masters, you know? I'm aware of the fact that I've still probably got some stuff, but it doesn't matter because what I'm seeing is big shifts in my life. The more I focus on the feeling good stuff, the more I feel good in myself. I'm seeing my body image stuff has been a crux. I'm seeing big changes in that area. I'm seeing big changes in how I relate to people. I'm seeing myself breaking free and being able to have people around to my house and go to social events. And like, I'm just massively seeing changes. And part of it's the work I'm doing with my healer, but it's also part of my own inner journey. So I am reflecting, and basically the vlog that I made yesterday took ages, and then once it actually got up onto YouTube, there was a problem with the music that I used, and so I woke up this morning and I just felt like, I'm gonna take that down. That's not who I am, you know, like, and I started to feel like who I am is totally great. You know, I don't have to reach for something else just because somebody thinks that I didn't do the greatest job, or I could have done this, or I could have done that, or I should be here, or I should be there. That's their perception. Like, I don't have to buy into their perception. I don't have to get upset about what other people think about me. And so that leads me to now why I'm making this vlog, to kind of explain that whole round the circle what happened. And yeah, just say, you know, we all have these wobbles. We're all continuously learning and growing. And I ended up kind of binging on Abraham Hicks yesterday, and I just love Abraham, and I love Esther Hicks for bringing this stuff to us, because it really, really goes deep, doesn't it? And it really is something that's been coming through a lot over the last week is we are unique expressions of divine. My unique expression is my own unique reality. Like, every 7 billion of us have our own unique reality. But and because we have this old paradigm of thinking that we live in this physical material world, we don't realize that it's totally subjective, and that if you want to buy into whatever story somebody else is telling, then of course you can buy into that. But if it doesn't feel good for you, you don't have to buy into it. You can totally create your own world, your own reality. And I'm really starting to get this idea a little bit more, because it senses that, okay, so one more kind of point to make on this note is, so part of my vlog yesterday, and I titled it Alignment and Connection to Source. And then I watched a couple Abraham about how to connect with Source. So today I'm sort of feeling like we are never not connected to Source. We are an extension of Source energy. So it's impossible for us not to be connected. However, what goes on is that through our emotions, and our emotions are responding to the thought frequency that's going on in our mind, our emotions are telling us kind of how much further away we're going from our own alignment to Source. So Source energy basically is like what wants the best for us, wants us to be the happiest, most divine expressions, wants us to be super blissed out, wants us to be living in this paradise, heaven on earth, right? That's what Source energy really wants for us. And we've already made that agreement. We've already seen that, been there, done that. And then as we come into this, we're figuring out the world of contrast. We're moving around, and whenever we start to have icky, dark, sad, depressed, despair, so all of those lower frequency, whenever we start to feel those lower frequencies, if we can be really detached about it, all our emotional body is telling us you're not in alignment. So we're still connected to Source because we wouldn't be alive if we weren't connected to Source. We wouldn't be aware of this emotional body if we were completely disconnected. It's just impossible, right? How can we be disconnected? We're all one. We're always connected. But it's just the idea of like, oh, okay, so this isn't making me feel too good, which means this isn't in alignment with my own Source. So I could go on more about this, especially how I've unraveled a lot of my own personal issues, maybe with body image, with relationships, with money, and how I'm starting to kind of navigate around it and really own my own alignment and let myself be who I am, and basically screwing off the people who don't like me or who think I need to change or who think that I should be doing it like this or should be doing it like that. Like, I'm totally allowed to be who I am, and by owning that person who I am, I continue to feel good and I continue to move in the direction I want to move in. So finally with that, what I realize as well is, like, as we change and as we continue to kind of catch up with the person that we're wanting to be or desiring to be, our physical reality, of course, will start to shift and change. And I realize that when we're putting masks on, which we all do and we all probably have in some time in our life, we then kind of pleasing other people, or like, molding ourselves to make sure that other people are kind of responding to us in a so-called positive way. And so realizing the fact that when you start to step into your power, that your vibration changes. So then people's reaction around you is going to change. And I guess part of me is saying this because I suddenly realized, because I'm letting go of some of my yoga sessions and whatnot. And I realized that by doing the talks, some people who know the kind of yoga teacher girl will be like, oh, but I don't know if I like this. Like, it's different. And there's more to Molly than just doing yoga, meditating and stuff all the time. There's this whole backstory, and there's this drama, and there's this stuff going on. And I guess it's the fact, like, I'm okay with that. Because I'm continuing to see that person that I am, and I know my truth and my story and stuff can really help people to be who they want to be and step into their self, because I'm not perfect in any way. But I've come over a lot of kind of being stuck in the worry of my so-called imperfections, and instead starting to just be like, fuck it, who cares? Like, that's who I am. And that kind of breaking free, and actually I'm reading John Parkin's Fuck It, The Ultimate Spiritual Way. But that breaking free from the social norm or the status quo can really upset people, can really like kind of piss them off or make them feel a bit insecure about their own reality. Because when you start to break free, their ego attachment to form is like, how you can't do that. Even last night, talking with a group of people, somebody said something, we were talking about something, and one person said, oh, that's really unrealistic. And I just thought, oh, interesting, isn't it? That we think we know what reality is. We think we know what reality is, but we don't. And in fact, the more you just drop the knowing, come out of that little bubble of thinking we know anything at all, and just start feeling. And then through that feeling, you'll start to realize, oh, this makes me feel really good, actually. Or this, if we're really depressed, at least this makes me feel something. And then continue to empower yourself to move into the stuff that feels good for you. That's all. It's really simple. Continue to empower yourself and permission yourself to do the things that make you feel good. To hang out with the people that make you feel good. And then the more you choose to do things that make you feel good, the more the stuff that doesn't make you feel good will become really apparent to you. And eventually, and again, this is kind of where I've come to in my life, eventually you just won't end up there. You just won't even attract those situations. If anything, what will happen, you'll start to attract better and more bliss and more love and more happiness into your life. I really needed to get that off my chest today. There's so much going on. And I'll just show you, here I am in my kind of meditation room. So some of you who come to my talks, that's my vision board. And we talk about that. It's super fun to have a vision board, even if you create a little space. And then I'm here and I'm in my sweats and I'm just kind of on my meditation cushion. I've got my water. I've got some lovely candles, some crystals, some rose quartz on my altar. One of my kind of sacred journals that when I started journaling all those years ago, and just lots of photos that kind of inspire me. And indeed, I'm starting to realize some of them are just happening. I've got a public speaker there with Gabby Bernstein, so I've started doing my talks. I've got this lovely photo of being like coming to an island on a boat, and that happened at Awesomeness Fest. Me doing lots of handstands, that's definitely happened this year. So go for it. And be willing to detach from people. That's all. Just be willing to let people be who they are. But if they're throwing negative kind of junk at you and it doesn't feel good for you, it's not meant for you. So be willing to let it go. And anyway, have a wonderful day. Please feel free to subscribe, add comments. I'm really interested in this stuff and can just feel such miraculous shifts in my life. And I really want to expand the conversation, not just here in my community in North Devon, but all over the world. So if you ever want to have a Skype chat, I can do Skype sessions. In the new year, I'll probably be making at least monthly, if not weekly, trips to London so I can do sort of coaching and yoga sessions and just basically share the good vibrations, share the awesomeness, because the sky is the limit and we can totally create paradise on earth if we want to. It's up to us. Have a great day. Peace out.